Good morning, everybody. Let's kick off your top 5 news with a show of unity among U.S. and Afghan leaders. Now, the officials are meeting in the hopes of laying the groundwork for better relations moving forward. At the forefront of the meeting was the discussion around funding needed to maintain Afghan security forces and long-term counterterrorism efforts. Discussion over future U.S. troop levels in the country continue. President Obama is expected to meet with Afghanistan's president today. And Republican Senator Ted Cruz kicked off his first speech in his bid for president. Take a listen.
It is a time for truth. It is a time for liberty. It is a time to reclaim the Constitution of the United States.
Definitely getting people pumped up there. Well, during his speech, Cruz also asked the crowd to imagine a United States without the IRS, Obamacare, or abortion rights, and to imagine they can make that happen by supporting him. You know, it'll definitely be interesting to see who throws their hat in the ring next. Moving on, a step back in time, Utah's governor signed a law that would allow firing squads as a means of capital punishment. Now, the governor there says the method would be acceptable to use when no lethal injection drugs are available. Of course, in recent months, states have had a hard time getting their hands on the deadly cocktail needed for lethal injections. This is because many of the required drugs come from European countries that are opposed to capital punishment. Utah is the only state right now with the firing squad as an option. And an attorney for 20-year-old Martese Johnson says the student will plead not guilty this week to charges stemming from his controversial and violent arrest last week. Johnson needed 10 stitches after he was taken down by alcoholic beverage control officers outside a Charlottesville bar a few minutes from the University of Virginia campus. State officials have promised to investigate the incident. Staying in Virginia, after months of review, Charlottesville police say they have found no evidence to back up a Rolling Stone magazine article depicting a gang rape at a University of Virginia fraternity house.
Unfortunately, we're not able to conclude to any substantive degree that an incident that is consistent with the facts contained in that article occurred at the Phi Kappa Psi fraternity house or any other fraternity house for that matter.
Well, you know, police did go on to say that it doesn't mean the victim didn't go through something horrible that night back in 2012. They just don't know what that something is. Now, meanwhile, the fraternity says they are exploring legal options against Rolling Stone to address the extensive damage the article caused. But, you know, you look at the damage it's really caused on all ends. For the woman who was involved in something horrible, the fraternity, the university, now the magazine. But what I worry about most is if this really going to affect other women from coming out about reporting rape, because I can't imagine the emotions they feel when trying to report something like this, what they've already gone through, what they have to retell, and they're worried that people won't believe them and that it's somehow their fault. So I really hope it's not a setback for that, because it was really brave of anyone to report something like this.
Yeah, the amount of bravery that it takes a woman to do, because, you know, as Jessica said earlier, you know, it's almost like they're outcasts as soon as they speak up.
Not to speak up, like bullied. Like, you sure you want to do this? The process of this is very difficult. They're gonna tell you, and it's like, whoa, if you hear that, you're like, well, I may as well just stay quiet, right?
And if nothing ends up happening to the people that she accused of, like potentially in this scenario, imagine the backlash she's now gonna receive on campus when she has to face these people day after day, and it's just terrible all the way around.
But definitely speak up if anything like this happens to you or anyone you know. Speak up. It's not good to stay quiet.